Hey guys, this is Corey. It's been like 2 weeks since I started that unboxing video of all my Black Friday stuff, and I've been working a little, I've been busy a little, I've been playing with my new toys, and I kind of put it off. But I need to finish it now because I have a record player that I have to take back to the store soon if I want to get my money back, which I do. But I also was waiting around to get my new record player, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute. So yeah, I've had this mess in here of all these 45s and a few full-size albums sitting around for a couple weeks now. Nope, there's Frank. So let me show you here on the screen. This is the record player I started to review 2 weeks ago. It's a Victrola. Oh, Frank, get out of here. It's a Victrola turntable in a suitcase or whatever they call it. It has Bluetooth, which I find out later that the Bluetooth only works for putting music into it and not taking the music out of it, which I think is kind of crummy. Temporarily out of stock. They must be doing something right. I was not happy with it for several reasons, which I'll get into when I go over to the turntables here. But what I ended up ordering from Best Buy on a deal of the day was this one, the Sony PSLX300USB stereo turntable. So far, I've only had it for like 3 days, but it is freaking fantastic. It is the best sounding turntable I've ever bought. Probably because I don't spend a lot on turntables, which I should. Eventually, I'm going to want two. I'm going to want one in the living room and one on the dining room. So I'm going to save up and read some reviews and probably get maybe a $200 to $300 turntable, and I'll probably put it. I probably use it out here in the living room more. So I'd put it out here. It could be a centerpiece of the living room too. So anyway, I'm going to take you to the other room where I got the turntable set up, and I'm going to play some music and show you why I don't like the Victrola and why I'm in love with the Sony. So, I currently have them both wired together, which I do know has given me a little bit of playthrough, it seems like, from one to the other. So I've got these splitters here, I've got them both wired up, and they both go into my Sony receiver. The receiver does not have a phono input, so it does not have a preamp. I thought that I needed one for my new Sony, and so I got this out and I was using it, and then I realized there's a switch on the back. Let me try to show you that right now. Here's your phono and your line-in switch right here. It makes a world of difference. And what's really funny is when I'm playing stuff off the Victrola now that they're wired together, and I turn, you can hear the sound difference when I hit that phono. Oh, Frank likes jumping on it. You can hear the sound difference when I turn on the built-in amp in the Sony when you're listening to the Victrola, so the music must be going through and it amps it and it comes back. But I'll show you that. So what I'm going to play today, since I don't want to break any copyright, well, I may be breaking copyright anyway, but they're family, so I feel like I can break copyright. And if they have any problems, they can call me, is Denny and Mary Joyce Johnson, Family Matters. Family members on my mom's side, and they made this record years ago. 1986. I was 6. Here's the Johnsons right here. I used to listen to this all the time when I was a kid, and I told, I believe it was Denny a few years ago, that I found this at a pawn shop in Rochester, and it's in perfect condition. Frank is going to ruin this video. It was in perfect condition, and I brought it home, and I put it in a new sleeve inside here so it won't get any scratches or anything like that. But I'll play a little bit of it today, and it still sounds good. Actually, this record has sounded better than I think I've ever heard it sound before because I'm playing it on this new Sony. So here, let me take it for a spin. So, what I'm going to be comparing today is the Victrola portable Bluetooth turntable. It's real gimmicky. As you can see, it's in a suitcase. I think it's all made just for gimmicks, for looks. If you wanted to set this on a shelf in your art studio just to have something that looked, I don't know, chic or swanky or hip, you could do that. It's a good centerpiece, but it doesn't do much for playing records. And the other one we're going to compare here is the Sony PSLX300USB stereo turntable. Has USB. I will probably never use that. It has a diamond stylus and has a belt that you have to connect when you start it up, and I'll show you where in there when you put it together when it comes in the box. It also comes with this SoundForge Audio Studio 9, which I have not used yet, but I probably will. Okay, let me show you. Let's get it better. Is this a good view here? Alright, so I've got Family Matters by Denny and Mary Joyce Johnson and family. I'm going to start playing this here. This is fantastic, by the way. You've got your 3345 speed button here. The only Frank's gonna wreck it. The only thing that the Victrola has over this is this has a 78 setting on it. It's got 3345 78. That's the only thing that this wins over this. I don't own any 78s, so it's just fine to me. It's got auto start, stop, and up and down with the stylus buttons. So if you hit start here, it's going to drop the needle by itself. Excuse me.
You belong to me, I belong to you. We both belong to Jesus, and He'll help us to be true. He will help us get along, help our love grow deep.
You probably can't hear it on the GoPro, but the bass is fantastic right now. Obviously I have my sub on, so that could be part of it, but I'll compare it here in a second to this. The bass doesn't even compare with this. So as I said, I didn't know this had a built-in preamp at first. So there you go, that's without the preamp, and I was using this, which I got from Radio Shack, and it still sounded good. I think the preamp sounds a little bit better, though, maybe on the low end.
He gave up all for me. I'm in love with you. You're in love with me. You're in love with me. When we love like Jesus.
So the nuances of this, I can hear, I've never heard before, some of the sounds coming out of this album. It sounds fantastic. So I can use these up-down buttons so I never have to drop the needle myself and scratch the record. This one does not have that. The Victrola doesn't have these nice start-stop features, drop, needle drop. You got to do it manually, and on top of that, there's a button here for auto, start, and stop. Now this one's doing it. The other day when I had it on auto start and stop, it wasn't playing a full-size record the other day because it wouldn't engage the turntable when I moved the stylus over. That was my biggest pet peeve with this. Here, let me show you a little closer. The record spins automatically when you get it to a point here. So if I drop the needle on the outside of this track, well, it did it today. Yesterday I had to move it in 2 tracks to get it going, so I don't know if that's a fault with the Victrola or if it's just mine.
We both belong to Jesus, and He'll help us to be true. He will help us get along, help our love grow deep and strong. Fill our hearts with joy and song. He's love's example. His love is deep, so tender and true. His love never dies, no matter
So I don't know if you can hear this through the GoPro or if this is just the worst example that I can possibly do, because I probably need a real mic to pick up the differences here. There's no bass. The bass is awful through the Victrola. It sounds really tinny. It sounds distorted. Some of the higher notes sound distorted. Plus, I can hit the phono off on the Sony here, and it even sounds worse now. This right now sounds like it's playing from a tin can. Some people who stopped by when I was playing some 45s on this, they were like, oh, that's kind of neat, but it sounds awful. I agree. Also, I can turn that off completely, and I can turn the speakers up on this, and it doesn't sound much better. So right now the price difference on this, this one was $55 on Amazon and this one was like $65 on Amazon. I spent $40 on this one on Black Friday deal. I spent $65 on this one on a Black Friday deal. For $25 more, you get like 10 times the record player with the Sony. Yep, I can't even listen anymore. This record player. It's not good. Oops, I gotta turn this back on.
Let's get along, help our love grow deep and strong. Fill our hearts with joy and song. He's love's example. His love is deep, so tender and true.
Well, there you go. That's my amateur review of these record players, just from going on what they sound like. And like I said, I'm using my extended family's music here, so I hope I'm not breaking any copyright laws. I'm going to put this away. The last thing I'm going to show you here is where you have to hook up the belt on this Sony before, or when you take it out of the box and you have to put it together. This thing here. So this Sony ships in 3 pieces. This is zip tied down. Your stylus, your needle, is like zip tied or twisty tied down. This rubber comes in its own sleeve and it's in a piece of cardboard, so it can't get bent. This plate right here, which I cannot pull out because I would lose my belt, also comes separate here. And that belt is really nice and tight underneath here around this inner channel here. And it came with a little ribbon that was tied up right here and taped down. Closer look at this. So this ribbon that was tied right here had the belt hooked on it. So all you got to do is untape this and bring the ribbon right around this piece right here. You just loop it right around there, and then you pull the ribbon out and you drop your mat down on top of this, and it's good to go. It's like you just start playing right away. Now, the setting on the phono line in is right back here, and that is turned off when you get the record player. So if you have your own preamp, you can leave it turned off. You can just use that and run everything through it. I'm glad I don't have to use this anymore because I had to use 9-volt batteries in this, and I couldn't plug it into the wall, which is, I think, a hassle because half of the time I'd forget, I'd leave it on, and I'd wear out the batteries, and I'd have to throw a new battery in it. So, I would give this Sony so far, this Sony PSLX300USB, 5 out of 5. I would give this Victrola Suitcase Bluetooth record player like a 2 out of 5. I don't know, it probably gets 1 point for portability and the Bluetooth of it, and it gets another point because it looks cool. As for sound quality, gets like a 1 out of 5. It's not very good. And then the little things that I found wrong with it is sometimes this would not engage your drive here, so I couldn't play my 33s. It doesn't automatically pick the stylus up when you're done. It won't drop it for you, it won't pick it up. So if you have this auto off on, if you have this off, it'll just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. I read some reviews, people say that it just tore their record right up because they walked out of the room and they left it spinning there. What else? I don't think I'm alone in the reviews of this. Other people said it was probably one of the worst record players they've ever heard. So, anyway, this is my current vinyl collection. I don't know how many are in there. But it's a lot, and I want to play them, and I want them to sound good. So I'm going to get a better record player in the future. But right now, this one is going back to the store, and this one will sit up here and be my main record player. I don't know what else to say. That's about it. Let me confirm prices on this. So the Sony, oh, I was wrong. Right now on Amazon, the Sony is at $78, and the Victrola is at $45. Yeah, a little bit of a difference, but if you're going to spend the extra $20, get the good one. Get the good one. You're not going to use the speakers. You're probably not going to use the speakers that are built into this. You're probably not going to use the Bluetooth. It's just a gimmick because you can't take your Bluetooth sound out of it. If you could hook it up to a decent Bluetooth portable speaker, this would be a whole other ball of wax here, but probably not because, as I showed over there, the sound quality coming out of it is just bad. It's just bad. All right, I'm going to take this back to the store. Have a good day.